The spotlight has once again turned toward Tiger Woods, but this time, it's not for a comeback story or a heroic performance on the golf course. Instead, it's a legal situation filled with uncertainty, unanswered questions, and growing criticism, particularly from one of golf's most outspoken analysts, Brandel Chamblee. Following a troubling rollover crash in Florida, Woods now faces DUI-related legal challenges. While the legendary golfer has pleaded not guilty and stepped away from the sport temporarily to focus on treatment, the investigation surrounding the incident has left many observers puzzled. At the center of the controversy is a critical gap in evidence, one that Chamblee has not hesitated to highlight. That a case full of questions after the accident, law enforcement officers conducted a breathalyzer test on Woods. Surprisingly, the result came back at 0.000, indicating no presence of alcohol in his system. On the surface, that might seem like a point in his favor. However, the situation quickly became more complicated. Woods declined to take a urine test, which could have revealed the presence of drugs or medications. This refusal has proven to be a turning point in the case. Without that additional toxicology data, authorities are left without clear, scientific evidence of impairment, something that is often crucial in DUI investigations. According to reports, deputies observed several signs that could indicate impairment. Woods allegedly had bloodshot and glassy eyes, enlarged pupils, and was sweating excessively. Additionally, authorities found hydrocodone pills in his possession, and Woods reportedly admitted to taking medication earlier that day. Still, none of this amounts to definitive proof in a courtroom setting. This is where the controversy begins to deepen. Chamblee's sharp criticism. Speaking on a podcast, Chamblee didn't hold back in expressing his concerns. He pointed out what he sees as a major procedural failure in the investigation. In his view, the absence of a blood test is not just surprising, it's a significant oversight. Chamblee explained that in many DUI cases, when a suspect refuses a breathalyzer or urine test, law enforcement typically seeks a court order to obtain a blood sample. Such a test can provide conclusive evidence about whether substances were present in the individual's system at the time of the incident. In this case, however, no such test appears to have been conducted. That omission, according to Chamblee, leaves a major gap in the investigation. His concerns are not without context. Back in 2017, Woods faced a similar situation when he was arrested for DUI. At that time, he cooperated with authorities, and toxicology reports revealed multiple substances in his system. The contrast between then and now is stark. This time, with no urine or blood test results available, the case lacks the clarity that once existed. For Chamblee, that raises serious questions, not just about Woods' actions, but about how the investigation itself was handled. Legal complexities and challenges. The absence of toxicology evidence has also drawn attention from legal experts. Lawrence Meltzer, a lawyer specializing in DUI cases, has weighed in on the matter, highlighting the challenges prosecutors may face. Meltzer pointed out that without evidence of alcohol or drugs, proving a DUI charge becomes significantly more difficult. While officers can testify about observed behavior, such as physical appearance or erratic actions, those observations alone may not meet the legal standard required for conviction. Another attorney, Ted Hollander, echoed similar concerns. He noted that unless there are clear admissions from Woods or physical evidence found in the vehicle, the lack of a urine or blood test could weaken the prosecution's case considerably. In many DUI cases, toxicology results serve as the backbone of the prosecution's argument. Without them, the case often hinges on circumstantial evidence, which can be far less persuasive in court. The role of refusal laws. Woods' refusal to take a urine test is not without consequences. Under Florida law, often associated with provisions like Trenton's Law, refusing such tests can lead to misdemeanor charges. However, these laws do not necessarily compel authorities to obtain a blood sample as a substitute. This creates a legal gray area. On one hand, the refusal itself can be used against the defendant, suggesting possible consciousness of guilt. On the other hand, it does not provide the concrete evidence needed to prove impairment beyond a reasonable doubt. This gap between suspicion and proof is precisely what Chamblee has been emphasizing. In his view, the system failed to close that gap when it had the opportunity. A history of criticism. Chamblee's comments are not an isolated incident. Over the years, he has built a reputation for being one of Woods' most vocal critics. Back in 2013, despite Woods winning 5 tournaments in a single season, Chamblee gave him a grade of F, citing ethical concerns related to a rules violation at the Masters. The critique shocked many fans and sparked widespread debate within the golf community. By 2018, Chamblee's stance had become even more controversial. He argued that Woods had achieved less than he should have, given his immense talent, a bold claim considering Woods' 15 major championships and status as one of the greatest golfers in history. More recently, following the March crash, Chamblee went as far as to question whether Woods should continue playing golf at all. He suggested that at the age of 50, the physical toll of the sport, combined with recurring injuries and surgeries, could make a return both difficult and unwise. These remarks have only intensified the scrutiny surrounding Woods, both on and off the course. What lies ahead for Woods? Despite the growing criticism and legal uncertainty, it's important to remember that Woods has not been found guilty of any charges. The principle of innocent until proven guilty remains central to the case. Meltzer emphasized that Woods is likely to be treated like any other defendant, regardless of his fame or accomplishments. The legal process, he noted, is designed to apply equally to everyone. At the same time, Meltzer suggested that jail time is unlikely, even if the case proceeds. In many similar situations, defendants may be offered plea deals or face reduced charges, particularly when the evidence is not definitive. For Woods, one possible outcome could involve pleading guilty to the refusal charge rather than the DUI itself. Such a resolution would carry lesser penalties and might allow him to move forward more quickly. The road to court. Looking ahead, Woods' next court date is scheduled for May 5. His attorney has already taken steps to streamline the process by filing a waiver of arraignment, which means Woods will not need to appear in court for the initial hearing. Additionally, Woods has requested a jury trial in Martin County, signaling that he may be prepared to contest the charges rather than seek an early settlement. This decision could prolong the legal battle, but it also suggests confidence in his defense strategy. A legacy under pressure for fans of Tiger Woods. The situation is both concerning and frustrating. Over the years, Woods has built a legacy defined by resilience, dominance, and unforgettable moments. From historic major victories to remarkable comebacks, his career has been nothing short of extraordinary. Yet, incidents like this serve as reminders that even the greatest athletes are not immune to personal and legal challenges. The lack of clear evidence in this case only adds to the intrigue. Without definitive answers, speculation continues to grow, fueled by commentary from figures like Chamblee and ongoing media coverage. Final thoughts. At its core, this story is about uncertainty. The events surrounding Woods' crash have raised more questions than answers, and the absence of crucial evidence has made it difficult to draw firm conclusions. Chamblee's criticism highlights a broader issue: how investigations are conducted and whether standard procedures are always followed. Whether or not one agrees with his perspective, his comments have sparked an important conversation. As the legal process unfolds, all eyes will remain on Tiger Woods. The coming weeks, and particularly the May 5 court date, could bring greater clarity to a situation that currently feels incomplete. Until then, the case stands as a complex intersection of law, reputation, and the enduring public fascination with one of golf's greatest icons.